Welcome back to Cryptos Are Us. I am George. We're all George. So today was kind of exciting and boring at the same time. We had that big FOMC meeting. So let's recap what happened. Markets actually reacted pretty well. So was something good said today? And also, what is Trump going to say? There's something big coming tomorrow. So let's talk about that as well. Are they both setting the stage for Bitcoin? Well, let's talk about it. All right, let's do it, guys. And tonight is DCA night. That's why I'm streaming. All right, let's do it. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So we are starting out the night 85.8, around 86,000. Obviously much better than last night and this morning. But we have come back down from earlier today when Bitcoin actually hit all the way like 87.4, 87.5. So we have retraced back down a little bit, but still a lot better than where we started. I think this morning we started around like 83, 84. And you could see recently, just yesterday, we went down to like 81 something. So obviously in a much better spot, right? And a lot of alts came up today as well. So today was one of those rare occasions where FOMC meeting actually, actually brought up the market, actually brought up Bitcoin and crypto and brought up the overall broader market as well. So what was actually said today? Well, kind of like what I expected, not a whole lot. Well, obviously Powell didn't cut the rate, the Fed fund rate. And he was asked a lot about tariffs, which he can't really answer because, obviously a lot of the tariffs have just started. A lot of more tariffs are going to be put into place. There's a lot of things he can't answer. But he said traditionally, tariffs cause slower economic growth and causes higher inflation. In fact, he was asked point blank if a lot of the inflation that we're seeing right now is due to tariffs. And he answered yes, partly, and then he said most of it is due to tariffs. So obviously tariffs are having effect on prices. And this is just the beginning, obviously, because whatever tariffs that has been put into place is just recent, right? It's just this month. And then starting in April, there will be a lot more reciprocal tariffs. And he mentioned a lot about that too. So still a lot of uncertain things. But one thing that he did say that the market did like, there will be 2 more rate cuts. Okay, so 50 basis point cut from the Fed fund rate. That's what people wanted to hear. He did say that before, and people were worried that may be off the table. No, he's like, no, there's still going to be 2 more. So that was good. Okay. But bottom line is he didn't say a whole lot. Well, he did say a lot, but he didn't say a whole lot of new things other than, yes, there's still going to be 2 more rate cuts. And he did basically conclude that tariffs cause economic slowness and causes inflation. And these are things I've mentioned before, right? What's also surprising is if you look at the Fed Watch tool, the next FOMC meeting in May, the rate cut percentage actually went down. It was at 30% and it dropped to 18.7%. So that's actually not a good thing. So now we may have to wait until June to get that first rate cut. And right now it's priced in at 55%. So actually, based on what happened today, we may have to wait until June for quantitative easing to start, right? And obviously that's been the big thing that I've been talking about recently, ever since, I don't know, a few days ago or yesterday. You know, basically right now, I do believe that, actually, I think I just said it yesterday and this morning. Last time we had quantitative easing, last time we had the 10-year and the DXY dirt low levels, last time when there were extreme fears about recession and the money started flowing and quantitative easing started and rate cuts started, that's when everything started exploding, right? And that may be starting May or maybe starting in June, right? And that's when things really start exploding. But today, the 10-year yield did go down, which is good. That's what we want to see. We want to see all these things start coming down, right? And that's what really drives things upwards. And I did see this. This just came out because obviously other countries are actually looking at what the Fed is doing. China Central Bank also followed the Fed and kept their rates steady. They didn't cut either. So basically around the world, everyone is trying to figure out if this is the right time to cut or not. Everyone's kind of going through the same thing. There's economic slowness, especially in China right now, because they're going through deflation. They don't have to worry about inflation. They're worried about deflation and economic slowness, you know, around the world. And then everyone's afraid of tariffs, and they don't know what's going to happen to their economies due to tariffs. You know, there's just a lot of uncertainty still right now. So, yeah. But once it's over, once we do get some certainty, once the floodgates open, so to speak, right? That's when we can get trillions coming in. When we get that money flowing, when we get that liquidity injection, that's when things start rising. That's when things start pumping up to the moon once again, right? That's when we think, not when we think, that's when we know everything starts rising up to new levels, and that's where the predictions come in, right? All these predictions about the end of year targets, Bitcoin being at $250,000, and I don't know, people are still predicting ETH being at $8,000. I've said Solana being at over $1,000. People are asking for XRP to be above $8. All these predictions still in play. Just because we have a little bit of a setback, a little distraction, things will come back full force really quickly after we get through this period. And I do think this is done on purpose. I said that. But once the money starts flowing once again, it's going to flood back really, really, really fast and really quick. But in the meantime, though, we may have something to look forward to tomorrow, specifically, not for the broader market, but specifically for Bitcoin and crypto tomorrow. Although we have been let down many times. We had a big White House conference. We had a big White House summit. Both of these ended up with nothing burgers. So I don't know if we're going to be disappointed tomorrow, or we may have something big tomorrow. So President Trump will be going to the Digital Asset Summit tomorrow, and he'll be making some kind of announcement, or he'll be at least addressing the crowd. Okay. We don't know what he's going to say. Last time he addressed a crypto conference was back last year during Bitcoin conference. And he did say a few things, like he was going to fire Gary Gensler, he was going to free Ross. He did talk about the Bitcoin reserve, although he let Senator Loomis actually kind of say that. He said some stuff, but it wasn't clear yet. But obviously, he wanted the crypto crowd or Bitcoin crowd to know that he was bullish on Bitcoin. So I don't know what he's going to say tomorrow. Okay, there are rumors, of course, that he could be saying something about like the no capital gains tax. We've heard this rumor before. Or say that, that America's going to purchase this 1 million Bitcoin. I don't think that can't happen because that needs congressional approval, right? But he did say he has tasked Lutnick and Bessent to try to find ways to purchase Bitcoin that won't cost taxpayer money, right? So maybe he can announce that, hey, they have found some way to buy Bitcoin without costing money. Maybe there's some genius way that they figured it out. And maybe it's from Doge savings or something. I don't know. Maybe they're going to take some Doge savings and go buy Bitcoin with it. So I don't know. If something big comes out tomorrow, that'd be absolutely fantastic. That will definitely rally Bitcoin and crypto some more, right? We have obviously seen Trump move markets. He tweeted before about a crypto reserve, and that pumped things to the moon. But we also have been let down, right, by some of these like previous summits and press conferences that didn't have a whole lot come out. So I don't know. We'll see. It's tomorrow, so we'll see what happens. But you know what? We're sitting in this pattern. You guys know, right? We have come back down. We're sitting in the 80s. We're sitting in a much better position today than the last few weeks, where we were sitting in the low 80s. We're in the mid 80s now, right? We just need that little push. If we get back to the 90s, we'll be in really good shape, right? But the broader market, the macro conditions right now kind of suck, right? And we know that. All the tariffs and stuff and everything. But again, I theorize, and I'm pretty certain that it's done on purpose to kind of drive rates down, and that's the whole intention. But you know what? When we get through it, things will come back full force. And in the meantime, we can get some good catalysts like tomorrow. If we do get something announced that's really good, that could definitely drive things up in a big way. So I guess we'll see. We did get a big catalyst today for one specific crypto project, and I did announce it this morning, and that is this lawsuit against XRP. That was dismissed, obviously. That was a big thing. This has been ongoing for years, and the final appeal that was submitted in January, that has finally been dismissed. So now XRP, free. It is a security. It's not a security, and Ripple can do whatever the hell they want now. So their plans on, going IPO, I know they said that before, their ETF, all these things that are pending, they could probably do now because there's no lawsuit anymore. So good for them. And XRP did shoot up a lot today, although after they shot up, it kind of just stopped. It didn't go anywhere. It didn't go higher. So they did shoot up from like 230 to 250, and it kind of just stopped there. But you know what? That's not a bad place to be, right? So that's a good catalyst for XRP. Now, something else that is kind of like a mini catalyst and could be a bigger catalyst for Solana is this. Today, Solana futures got introduced in the market. Although futures is cash settled, so it doesn't really require any Solana buying or selling. Although we have seen how futures for Bitcoin have affected Bitcoin's price once volume starts ramps up. So we'll see. And tomorrow there will be Solana futures ETF. Again, cash settled ETFs, not spot ETFs, which is still pending. But this is kind of like the first step. Once you get futures ETFs, that means spot ETFs are right around the corner. So that could be a catalyst starting tomorrow. So these like mini catalysts that are brewing every day. So looking forward to that. All right. That's it. Yeah, that's it. So tomorrow, big announcement, and we'll have to see. All right. So today is Wednesday. It's DCA day. I haven't done DCA for a long time. I think like 2 or 3 weeks. So I brought it up already. Here's the DCA portfolio. It's at $29,700. And it's up 4% for today. Overall, alts have suffered a lot. You guys know that. But overall, still up 58%, 59%. Not too shabby. Although it was up much better, much higher. It was at one point it was like up 115%. But the alts obviously and Bitcoin has come down, but still green is green. And I think today, usually I put $100. For those of you guys that are new, $100 every Wednesday. But since I've skipped it like 2 or 3 weeks, I'll put in $300 today just to kind of make up for it. And it's a good time to put it in too, because a lot of things are in red. They kind of changed the format of how this looks. Okay, so, all the top ones I have are ones I like a lot. So obviously Bitcoin, Solana, ADA, BNB, XRP is up here. I might be lightweight on XRP here. SUI's up here. AVAX, now Sonic, Link, Jupiter, Stacks near. Some of these I gotta rebalance. A lot of these have turned red since we have come back down. I'm going to stick with the basics. I'm going to stick with the top few. I don't know. I guess it's never a bad idea to put in. I think I'm just gonna put in. I think I'll put in XRP, SUI, and Chainlink. A little underweight in Chainlink too. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. All American-based projects and all fantastic projects. So $100 in each one, since I'm going to play with $300 this time around. 6.77. Nothing complicated. Going with some trusted big caps. So SUI, XRP, and Link. Did I put too much in SUI? How did it just jump up here? I think I put too much in here. How do I see the transactions again? I forgot how to see. I forgot how I see transactions. I think I may have put a little bit too much into SUI. There was a place I'd go. Okay, transactions here. 100. Oh no, I put too little in. I put too little into XRP. I only put $10. I gotta change this. So it'll be 40. There we go. 100, 100, 100. Okay. Okay, there we go. That looks better. All right. There we go. Let's do some Q&A. Change setting says bad DCA ICP would be better. I would never add ICP. Robin is asking, do you think the graph you mean graph protocol GRT has future business use? Do you think it reaches 50 cents or $1? It does have future business use. It indexes chains. Okay, that's its use. And can it reach 50 cents or $1? Probably. Yes. It was up there before, so yes, there's always a chance. It's like 5x, 5 to 10x. Yep. Let's see if I miss anything on top. Let's see. Buckeye DK, I work 2 jobs, still able to drop bags in crypto. I'm not broke. Congratulations. Or good job. That's the way to do it. Even my kids, you know, they're making money by selling 3D printed stuff. You know, sometimes you just got to figure it out. You got to hustle or do something for extra cash. You got to work 2 jobs, which is tough. I'm not saying it's easy, but man, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do to get dry powder so that you can continue to DCA. Ivy says, hey, Jordan, what are your views on Benjamin Collins' thoughts on Sol being cooked for this cycle? He reckons it's going to bleed to Bitcoin. Well, you could argue everything's bleeding to Bitcoin, right? Because Bitcoin has been the strongest. If you look at a DCA portfolio, look at the all-time performance on Bitcoin. It's 192%. Everything else is really trailing. Nothing is outperforming Bitcoin. So you could argue everything is bleeding to Bitcoin. But just look at Sol, right? The volume is still extremely high. When the market comes back, memes are going to get hot. And where are they? They're all on Sol. Sol's going to get its own ETF soon, spot ETF. They're already going to get they already have their futures, and they're going to get their futures ETF. So obviously there's institutional demand for them. So they're not going anywhere. Bid Moon, appreciate that. Tyler, George, why do you think the euro has increased value and seems strong? So right now, hopefully you guys watch my video. Not a whole lot of people watch my video from this morning, but I put out a really good video I streamed last night. Hopefully you guys watched it. I don't know. Some people agreed. Some people think I'm crazy. But what we want in the U.S. right now is a weak dollar. We don't want a strong dollar. Okay? We want a weak dollar. Weak dollar helps us in many ways. And one of the ways it helps us is exports. You know, right now, one of the things Trump wants to do is equal trade, right? U.S., we buy a lot of stuff, but we don't sell a lot of stuff. And if you want other countries to buy a lot of American goods, you want a weaker dollar. You don't want a strong dollar. So a lot of the things that is being done right now, a lot of the uncertainty that's causing market crashes, I think it's done intentionally to bring the dollar value down, is to bring the yield down. A lot of the things that are being done is to cause those to come down because it helps us. So that, you know, if the dollar goes down, what other dominant currencies are there, right? The euro, the yen, and the franc and others. So that could be the reason why. Do you think memes need to die before true altcoin season? No. No. Actually, memes need to get hot before we get true altcoin season. So I think it's the opposite. If memes don't get hot, I don't think we'll have true altcoin season. Because where's the money go come from? Before, money came from Bitcoin into alts. This time around, money's not going to come from Bitcoin. Institutions are not going to sell off their Bitcoin to put into alts. So where's the money going to come from? Probably from memes. Lazaro, I used to have like 30 coins. I reduced to 11, most important, and went heavy on them. There's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you have to consolidate. And a lot of this altcoin season is different. So a lot of the ones that did really well last season may not do well this season. So consolidating, there's nothing wrong with that. Townsley, it might be a favorite format of yours, not a favorite format for a lot of people. And yeah, so I enjoy doing lives and recorded. So So I'm going to mix it up. Lark Davis says he hates DigiByte. Where do you stand, DigiByte? DigiByte is such an old project. No one even talks about it. So I don't even know why you would ask about that. But anyways, I'm neutral on it. It has like 4 ways of mining. You know, it's 50% attack resistant. But it lost its identity a long time ago, so I'm not bullish, nor am I negative on it. Many people are fearful because they are over allocated. Well, I think most people are. Okay. I think most people, they put all their money in, they don't have any dry powder. And I understand that. I know that. It sucks, right? And if you don't have any dry powder, well, they just continue to hold it. That's really it. That's been my message forever. But if you have dry powder, then, you know, you can continue to DCA over long haul. And my DCA portfolio proves that it works. That's why I do it. That's a sample portfolio, by the way. But I've been doing that since 2021. So it's over 4 years. And that's through crypto winter too. So it's through up and downs. It's not just through the good times. It's not just from the bottom to up. It's like up to all the way to the bottom and back up again. So it does work, but you just have to have patience. But this is one of those times. This is one of those times, you know, before previous cycles, you know, I knew macro conditions did affect Bitcoin. I didn't pay much attention to it, but over the years, I started paying more and more and more and more and more attention to macro conditions. And now, you know, it's hard to ignore, right? So there are going to be times where you just can't ignore it. You can't ignore the fact that macro conditions kind of suck, and I think done on purpose. And, you know, Bitcoin's affected by it, right? And Bitcoin is not oblivious and is not decoupled away, especially since there are a lot of ETF sellers right now. If we didn't have Bitcoin ETFs, then Bitcoin could possibly stand on its own, kind of like gold, and decouple. But because there are so many ETF sellers, you know, that's why it's still coupled. So, I mean, it's just like, it's just one of those times. But remember what happened here. From this point right here, that was bottom. And you know what happened there? That was when quantitative easing happened. That was when Powell cut the Fed fund rate 50 basis points. And since that point on, Bitcoin started rising and doubled, and alts quadrupled. And that was over just the course of, what, 3 months, right? That was after we went sideways for like 6 months, 7 months. You could argue even downward trend for 7 months. We went down 7 months. And if you gave up and you left, you missed out on this climb, right? This is why you don't give up. You hold on DCA. So we may be going sideways or downwards, maybe for another month, 2, 3 months. But once we're ready, boom, we're going to go right back up. That money's going to flow in and we're going to go up just like before. So that's why it's important to stay strong and stay focused on the future. All right, guys, I'll let you guys go. We'll see what happens tomorrow. There could be a big announcement, but then again, there could be no announcement. Okay, we've seen this story before. We had a White House summit. It was a nothing burger. We had a press conference before, nothing burger. Will he say something big tomorrow? I don't know. Maybe. Hopefully. If so, we'll get a good mini rally. If not, then, maybe nothing happens. All right. Smash it a like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys later.